Conductors and Insulators. In this topic, we are going to study about the objects that can pass electricity and the objects that cannot pass electricity. So now, what materials can be used so that current can pass through them? कैसा मटेरियल हमें यूज करना चाहिए ताकि करंट उसमें से पास हो जाए? Now for this particular topic, we are going to do one activity, simple activity. Activity number 5. So first step is disconnect the switch from electric circuit used in activity number 4. In the previous activity, we have made a switch and also we have experimented whether the bulb glows or not by switching it on and off. So what we have to do for this activity, from that previous model that we have made, हमें उसमें से switch निकाल लेना है. We have to take out the safety pin, for example. Now, next is 2 free ends of wire will be there. आपको क्या मिल जाएगा? 2 free end of wires like this. Means हमने यहाँ से एक जो है safety pin उसको निकाल दिया है. Now the circuit breaks and it is incomplete. So bulb is not glowing anymore. Now correct samples of different types of materials such as coins, cork, rubber, glass, keys, pins, plastic scale, wooden block, candle, sewing needle, paper, pencil lead. So these items are all available nearby you. You can take these materials for experiment this activity. Now one by one, bring free ends of the wire in contact with the samples. So as you know, in the previous picture, we saw that we have 2 free ends of wire. Now what you have to do, one by one you have to take these samples and then you have to attach or you try to make a switch out of it. For example, take the coin and try attaching with the 2 free ends of the wire. Now you can take rubber also, you can take wooden block also. So one by one, all the materials that you have collected, like it is written here, you can take it and you can try making it as a switch. So 2 wires should not touch each other. This you have to remember very clearly because this may, like your experiment might go wrong and it can also damage your skin and whatever, it is nearby. So here you have to remember that you don't have to touch 2 wires at all. So yes, now record your observation and it is going to look like this. For example, in this picture, we have taken the key and in this picture, you can also see that the bulb is glowing, but we have attached a key. So this point, you have to, connect the dots and you have to remember certain things, that what kind of material that we have used and how the electricity is being passed here. And in this case, the bulb is glowing also. So yes, now according to our observation, we have made a table of conductor and insulators. So in this table, we have 3 columns. This you can see. The first column is for the object used in place of switch or the object that we have taken. In the second column, we have material it is made up of. किन-किन चीजों का वो बना हुआ है, जो भी materials हमने use किए हैं. And in the third column, you have to write your observation whether the bulb is glowing or not. So yes, now the first example we have taken is of key. And key is made up of metal, as you can see. So here you can see the observation that the bulb glows. Here the bulb is glowing. In the second one, we have taken the example of rubber. And it is made up of obviously the material rubber. And in this case, we have observed that bulb does not glow. Here we have written also. So third example we have taken is of scale. And you know that scale is made up of plastic. Most of the scales are made up of plastic. And here the bulb also does not glows. Next is wooden block. Wooden block is made up of wood, as we all know. And for wood, from wood, the electricity does not passes and our observation comes to be no for the glowing of bulb. Next example we have taken is of iron nail. It is made up of iron. Okay, so here we see that the bulb is glowing now. So observation comes to be yes. Next, second last is the glass bangles. It is made up of glass. And here the observation comes to be no. For glass bangles, the bulb does not glows. Last one is sewing needle. It is made up of metal. And what we see is here the bulb is glowing. So from this table, you are able to observe that with certain materials, the bulb is glowing. And with certain materials, the bulb is not glowing. But यहाँ पे हमने एक चीज common देखी है, that with metal, things made up of metal, the bulb is glowing. या जो कोई आयरन की बनी होगी या मेटल की बनी होगी, उसमें वी आर एबल टू सी दैट ओके द बल्ब इज ग्लोइंग, बट उसके अलावा अगर रबर है, प्लास्टिक है, वुड है, so in that case the bulb is not glowing. So in our observation, bulb does not glow when in contact with certain materials, and we studied about those certain materials, that what kind of materials are those in the case the bulb is not glowing. So yes, these materials do not allow electric current to pass through them. For example, rubber and glass. Rubber and glass के through electricity pass नहीं हो रही थी, so हमारी observation में the bulb was not glowing. And some materials allow current to pass through them. For example, keys, sewing needle indicated by glowing bulb. हमें कैसे पता लगा कि उनके through वो electricity pass कर रहे हैं? Because the bulb was glowing. For anything material which is made up of metal, iron, so here we saw that the bulb was glowing. So now comes the most important part, that materials which allow electric current to pass through them are called conductors of electricity. Conductors what? What do you mean by conductors? Which conducts? जो पास करने देते हैं अपने आप से, जो पास करने देते हैं खुद में से, उनको हम बोल देते हैं कंडक्टर्स, क्योंकि मेरे थ्रू आप जा सकते हो, you can pass through this. So those are the conductors, and here we saw the examples of क्या क्या हमने देखा था, sewing needle देखा था हमने, things made up of metal, for example coins, yes, and insulators, they don't like electricity at all. Here it doesn't allow the electricity to pass, does not allow electricity to pass. इसको नहीं पसंद आता कि मेरे पास से इलेक्ट्रिसिटी जाए, सो ये कहता है कि नहीं, प्लीज मत जाओ मेरे पास से. So insulators does not pass electricity, whereas conductors do pass, and we have seen the examples also. So now can you name two conductors and two insulators? So yes, conductors which conducts electricity, हमने उसके example भी देख लिए हैं. We have seen in the observation table that the things which are made up of metals, metallic things, they are able to pass electricity from them. So that is why they are called as conductors. So here we will write the two examples of conductors as keys. Keys में से electricity गई थी, and iron also conducted electricity. So we can consider these two as conductors. Now coming to insulators, जिनके थ्रू इलेक्ट्रिसिटी पास की ही नहीं थी. तो फर्स्ट एग्जांपल वी हैव सीन ऑफ, लेट्स से ग्लास से इलेक्ट्रिसिटी पास नहीं की थी, एंड रबर से भी इलेक्ट्रिसिटी पास नहीं करती. सो हियर द एग्जांपल ऑफ इंसुलेटर विल कम एज ग्लास एंड सेकंड वन विल कम एज रबर. यस, सो दीज आर द टू एग्जांपल्स ऑफ conductors and insulators, and as you know that these two terms are so important for you to remember, because these two terms are very important while you are experimenting means if you are trying to experiment or trying this activity at your home also or in school also. So आपको ये property पता होना एक material की बहुत important है. If it is conducting electricity or not, then only your experiment will be successful. Now from this chapter we know that conductors and insulators are equally important. Conductors भी important है, insulators भी important है. अगर conductors नहीं होंगे तो electricity conduct कैसे होगी, हमारा बल्ब ग्लो कैसे करेगा, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी पास कैसे होगी, एंड हम जो luxuries that we use of fan, fridge, AC, coolers, वो हम कैसे यूज करेंगे. And insulators are also very important, because अगर insulators नहीं होंगे तो we might get in contact with the conductors, and it can be very dangerous for us. तो insulators का भी होना उतना ही important है. So yes, switches, electric plugs, sockets are made up of conductors. So you go at your home and you're feeling so hot and you want to switch on the fan. The first thing you're going to do is go towards the switch and press it downwards. So while you are pressing the switch, are you feeling that electricity is passing through it? No. And why is that? Because that particular switch at our homes is made up of insulators, that is plastic, and we know that plastic does not conduct electricity. Yeah, we know that plastics do not conduct electricity. That is why when you enter at your home, and you try to switch anything on, then you won't get electric shock. So you now know the reason why it is like that, because all the plugs and sockets are made up of insulators which do not conduct electricity. Also, the sockets that we see or the wires, yes, rubber and plastic used for covering electric wires as people might touch it. और जो वायर्स भी हमारे घर पे होते हैं, लंबे लंबे आपने देखे हैं, जिनके थ्रू ट्यूबलाइट्स कनेक्टेड होती हैं, एंड ऑल्सो द फैंस आर कनेक्टेड. सो दोज वायर्स आर ऑल्सो कवर्ड विद प्लास्टिक. यू नो, आपने देखा होगा डिफरेंट कलर्ड ऑफ प्लास्टिक, सम आर रेड, सम आर येलो, सम आर ग्रीन. सो दोज आर द वेरियस प्लास्टिक कवरिंग that covers the metallic wires, so that if people want to touch it, they won't get an electric shock. But if the plastic covering is not there and the metallic wires are exposed, so when you try to touch it, you might get an electric shock. So these things are very things to be taken care of. Yeah, so these are the plastic wires that we see that are there in our wires at our home. And most important thing, caution, it is for us humans, because we are only making things around us, fans and all the electric appliances is all made up by men only. And men को ही इस चीज का बहुत ज्यादा ध्यान रखना है. किस चीज का ध्यान रखना है? Our body is a conductor. हमारी बॉडी क्या है? It acts as a conductor. अब कंडक्टर, हमने क्या पढ़ा था कंडक्टर के बारे में? That conductor is the material that conducts electricity, जिसके थ्रू इलेक्ट्रिसिटी पास हो सकती है. सो हमारी बॉडी के थ्रू इलेक्ट्रिसिटी पास होती है, बट इन विच केस? आपने सुना होगा अपने पेरेंट्स को कि अगर इफ यू आर ट्राइंग टू गो टुवर्ड्स एनी स्विच एंड यू आर ट्राइंग टू स्विच इट ऑन, एंड इफ यू आर हैंडलिंग एनीथिंग व्हिच इज इलेक्ट्रिकल, तो पेरेंट्स जनरली सेज दैट ओके वियर स्लीपर्स. आप स्लीपर्स पहनिए, देन यू हैंडल द इलेक्ट्रिक अप्लायंसेस. Why do these things, people advise us to? क्यों हमें advice की जाती है ऐसी? Because we know that slippers are made up of rubber, one thing, and rubber is an insulator. Rubber के through electricity pass नहीं करती. So, why it is said to wear the slippers while we are handling the electric appliances? Because if I am trying to touch a switch, for example, this is a switch in front of me. If I'm trying to touch it and for a chance I get an electric shock, तो electric shock अगर मुझे लगा, and if I'm not wearing anything in my feet या slipper, कुछ भी नहीं पहना मैंने, so what will happen? The electricity will pass through my body to the earth, yeah, and that will complete a full circuit. So basically, our body is giving a path for electricity to pass and complete a full circuit. So in this whole process, we might get hurt. A person can die also. So that is why if we are wearing slippers, हमने अपने पाँव में slippers पहन लिए, so now we are touching anything which can give us an electric shock, then in that case, the electricity won't complete it full circle, because it will stop जहाँ पे slippers आगे वहाँ रुक जाएगी. Because rubber के through तो pass कर नहीं सकते, because rubber is an insulator. So that is why it is advised us to wear slippers while we are handling anything which comes with electrical, setting. So now this thing you need to remember, that our body is a conductor of electricity. Be careful while you handle an electric appliances. आप wear slippers. ये है important सबसे ज़्यादा. Wear slippers while handling electric appliances. And why is that? Because rubber is an insulator. So electricity will not pass through it. Yes, got it? So that is why we have to take care of ourselves while we are handling something with electric setup. So with this, we finish your chapter, and in this chapter we have discussed so many things about how electricity works, how the switch works, and how the electricity passes, and in what case electricity does not passes. So I hope you understood this chapter. And yes, thanks a lot for learning from Pathshala, and we will see you in the next chapter.